Hi guys, welcome to my art supplies tour video. I've been getting a couple of questions on my videos asking what kind of art supplies I'd use, and some people said they would like if I just had a video showing them off, so that's what I am doing. I am re-recording this again. I feel like it's not an art video for me if I'm not re-recording it like 30 times, but yeah. I watched a couple of videos of people doing this like a couple minutes ago, so I kind of have an idea of what's good, but I'm just gonna show off what I use and hope it turns out well. I'm gonna start off with sketchbooks. So the sketchbooks that I've been using recently are the Moleskine brand. This one specifically is 5 by 8.5 inches, I believe. And because they are multimedia, they hold up against markers pretty well, which is really nice. You can see, but yeah, they are a bit on the pricier side because they are like kind of higher quality, but I'm pretty sure you can find like cheaper alternatives to them. I just really like the smoothness of the paper and the fact that it has like a little pocket in the back, so that's why I've been getting them. And they last me a long while, so that's the kind of sketchbook I use. Pretty great. Next up, I'm just going to show you guys what I have inside my pencil pouch. This is the stuff I usually use the most often to get my stuff started, or just because it's just easily accessible, easy to use stuff. I have it in this little fish pencil case that I got at a convention, and I don't remember the artist name, so if you do know them, please comment them down below. I also accidentally got paint on him, and I'm a little devastated by it. It doesn't hold too much, but it holds like enough that I need. I don't know if anyone's interested. I use this polymer eraser from Pentel. It's pretty great. It works well. I've been using them for a while now, so no complaints there. I also have this rubber eraser. I used to be super against them because I didn't like the texture of them, but honestly, they're really nice to use, and I've completely turned around like my thoughts and opinions on them. Still not like the biggest fan of the texture, but I kind of got over it after like touching it for a while. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what brand this is. I got it from school, but I think any that you find from like Blick or any kind of art store like that would be fine. One of the things I have inside this pencil case is my mechanical pencils. So I have 3 of them. I like mechanical much more than I like wooden pencils because I feel like every time I sharpen them, it just always fucks the lead up. So this is just easier. It's always like the same size. It's easier to get more lead. This brand is Graph Gear. I have 3 colors. I use the like regular gray graphite one in 0.7, and then I have a red one and a blue one that I use in 0.5. I think that's just like the sizes that they had for the red and the blue one. I love them. They're great. It's pretty easy to change the lead out. I use Pentel also to change the different leads. I also have one of these little like pencil shaped eraser guys. And sorry, it keeps going out of focus. And they're pretty nice. I don't use them as frequently anymore, but usually if I'm just like erasing small stuff and not like a big part of the paper, these are pretty nice to use. Yeah, I also have just like some other stuff in here. I have my black microns. I have 4 sizes of them. The 05, 01, 08, and 005. And then I have an extra pencil. One of my blue pencils stopped working. I don't know why. The other ones have been fine, but that one I had for the blue lead just stopped working. I don't know if something got jammed, so I got another one. I just have like a regular pen, and then I think this is like a gel pen or something, and a Pilot G2 pen, which I love. I used this to line art before just because it's very like jet black ink, very smooth. But sometimes it can be kind of hard to line with it because the pen doesn't want to pick up as much when you're trying to do like big pieces, and I just have a Sharpie in here. Next up, I'm gonna show you guys my liners. I keep all of my liners in this mug that I got at Goodwill. And I have like a pretty good collection of them. I have a lot of brands, or like a couple of brands that I use. First up, As previously mentioned, I have my microns. They come in a lot of colors, or like a pretty good amount of colors, which I like. These are like the first colored liners that I ever had. I got these when I was in high school, because there's a bunch of extras in the art room, and my friend got them for me. These, most of these have been the same ones that I've had since high school, since I was a freshman, which was like 9 years ago, and they still have held up really well. I don't use them like, as frequently as you would use like the black liners, but considering I do like using a lot of colored line art, these have held up really, really well. Yeah, they're really nice. I really like microns. Next we have Stabilo. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right. I think one of my friends knows how to pronounce it, so I will ask her. But these ones also super nice and great. They do have a little bit more of a color variation than the microns do, which I really like. And I feel like these are pretty good quality. I usually get these at Blick. Usually I just grab them from time to time, but these have a lot of different colors, which I really like about them. And yeah, they're pretty smooth, they're pretty great, easy to use. Obviously, they're liners. I love them. I've been using them a lot more, as of late. And then just like miscellaneous kind of liners that I have, that I've had over the years. I have a bunch of these Sharpie, ultra fine point pens, and they work if you like can't spend too much money on a bunch of liners, but I wouldn't recommend them as much just because they are Sharpies. They do tend to bleed a lot more across the page, so they're a bit harder to control lining wise. But like if you're down to clown with that, if you can make it work, which I absolutely think people can, I think they work great. They work fine. Just do keep in mind that the ink is a bit harder to control. And I do have 2 of these Sharpie pens. I think I've also had these for about 9 years now. These and most of these I've had for like 9 years. And these have started drying up a little bit. These are a little bit... While these, like, a lot of ink licks to come out, I feel like these, not a lot of ink licks to come out. So, like, not my favorite, but I have them. But considering how long they've lasted, I don't think they're, like, the worst. This is, like, a little bit all over the place. I do apologize. Great. Next up, I have, like, the gel pens that I use the most frequently, which are the Sakura Jelly Rolls. I have 3 sizes in the white. I have a 10, an 08, and an 05, just depending on, like, what amount of detail I need to use. And then I also have a glaze one and a glitter one. I like to use these 2 in pairs, where if I want things shiny like the eyes or fun little jewelry or details, I will go over with a tiny bit of the glitter and then go over it with the glaze, because I don't like glitter sticking to things, and it kind of just like solidifies the glitter in there, and then I can touch it and the glitter won't come off, and it's really, really nice, and it makes it really, really shiny. And then this is from a big pack of gel marker or gel pens that I got from my dad for Christmas. Says gel writer. He got them from Costco. It was like a big pack of like 50 or 100. This one is the gold one just because I use gold the most, but they have a lot of metallic colored ones, a lot of neon ones, and a lot of just like regular colored ones. Next up, I have my markers. I store my markers, I'd like to think, very organized in this little shelf unit that I got from my aunt. So this is my little marker storage area. They're just organized by colors, so reds and pinks, orange and yellows, stuff like greens and blues that I have a lot more are by themselves. But yeah, I really like how nice and organized it is. Yay, yippee! Alright, so first up, I have these shuttle art markers. I got these in a pack of 50 from my cousin on Christmas. I'm not entirely sure how much they are. I'm hopefully editing in all the prices and where you can get each thing. But these have worked really well. I got these about 8 years ago. I don't have, like, I think about half of them have, you know, dried out, but I do still have like a good majority of these and they still work really, really well, even though I use them a lot. Yeah, these are pretty great. They're very nice. I use a lot of different brands of markers. It's just kind of what I've collected over the years. Stuff I've been gifted to from friends, family, school sometimes has provided us with art supplies, or I have had like extra cash to buy myself. But I also have these art alternative markers and these Blick Illustrator markers. Honestly, you can use either or of these because I'm 100% sure that they are the same. As you can see, their designs are pretty similar with this little bump right here, the shape and stuff. But also the colors are pretty much the same and the numbers. So honestly, either one works. I feel like I haven't had these as long, but I have had them for like a couple of years now, at least like 3. And they held up pretty well. They are a little bit soft with their brushes, I feel like, but they work. They have great colors. I think they're cheaper alternatives to like a couple of other marker brands. I also have these markers that I got from my good dear friend that they got for me from Five Below. They don't have a brand on them or any names, so all I know is that they got them at Five Below. But honestly, for being $5, they work really well. I got 2 packs from them, a grayscale and a skin tone one, and they had a lot of really good variation on them. I used them like a lot. Next we have these Artist Loft markers. I think I got like a rainbow set and then a skin tone set. But yeah, I got these at Michael's, I believe. When I say cheaper alternatives, I mean like in comparison to like Copics, which I know are like much more pricey. But yeah, these were, I feel like, not that bad a price. I got these also, a couple of years ago, and they've held up pretty well, especially this one because I use this one a lot because this is the blush one. Yeah, also their brushes are pretty soft, but you know, they work pretty well and they're really nice. I also have some of these Blick Studio ones. I think I only have these 2. But they work pretty great. They work fine. They literally work like Copics do, and I don't think they were as expensive. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't had these 2 for too long, but I really like the colors on them, and they're really nice. Speaking of Copics, I do have like a couple of them. I feel like these are one of the most popular like marker brands, if not the most popular, and they work great. I really like the Copics that I have. They are a bit pricey, but I know you can refill the ink inside of them, which I do think is pretty cool and pretty nice because you don't have to just keep buying new markers. But yeah, I have both Copic Chow and the bigger Copic sketch ones, and they work great. I love the colors. They have a lot of different color choices to choose from, which I really like. Lots of variety, but you can find like cheaper alternatives to them. But I like them. I like them a lot. I feel like their brushes, I don't know, their brushes work really well. I use them super often. There's a reason I buy them when I can. Next, I have Prismacolor markers. I got all my Prismacolors as a gift from my friend who didn't want them anymore, and she just had like a bunch of them laying around. Prismacolor is also honestly really nice. I've never bought in my own of them before, so I'm not entirely sure how much they are. Put the price on the side of the screen. But I really like the really small brush that they have, and then the really broad one that they have. And I feel like their colors are really nice and vibrant. I don't mind using them. I think they're great. I think similar a little bit to the way that I talked about the Sharpie liners is that I feel like these tend to be a little bit more heavy with the ink. But I feel like as long as you're being really careful and pretty light with your art, it isn't like too much of a problem, but I would like advise you to be a little bit careful because the ink can tend to spread around sometimes a bit more than other markers would. Last in the markers, I use Sharpies. I think they're pretty nice. like I said with the Prismacolors and like I said with the Sharpie liners, these ones will bleed a lot more most of the time, I feel like. But I feel like if you can't spend too much money on lots of different kinds of marker brands, especially ones that are tend to be a bit more expensive, there's nothing wrong with using Sharpies. When I first started doing marker art, I just bought like a big Sharpie pack and I would use those and just like use them where I could, and it worked for me. Honestly, I don't think that Sharpies are that bad to color with. I still use them in my art from time to time. Obviously, I do have like a bunch of other markers that I use, but these are not like the worst. And I feel like they last a really long time. These Sharpies that I bought, I also got 9 years ago, and they work really well and they still work to this day, which is stupid because I feel like every time I buy a black Sharpie it dries out immediately, but these ones have lasted for like forever. But obviously you're using the black Sharpie more, but yeah, they work great. I honestly love using them. Yeah. For my like highlighters, I'm just showing these off. What I use is the Staedtler highlighters. Oops, I'm dropping everything. Yeah, I got this pack of 8 like 3 or so years ago. Yeah, I don't remember. 3 or so years ago, and I feel like they work really well. I mostly got them for school to use, just for school, obviously. But I do color with them from time to time. I feel like they layer pretty well in my sketchbook, as long as I'm not using them too heavily. And they're really nice and vibrant, and yeah, I like them. Next, I have my Posca pens. I got this pack, I think, from Amazon a couple of years ago, and for the most part, they have held up really well. I've so far just recently replaced the white and the black one. I love my Posca pens. I love using them to add, like, you've probably seen it in my traditional art, like fun stars in the background, or colors, or just like random shit. I don't draw like full-on portraits with them a lot. I kind of just use them for adding stuff to like the backgrounds and the surrounding areas, but I really, really love them. I will say with my, I don't know if this is for every pack, but for my pack, some of them have come out a little watery, like my gray one and my peach one. I feel like don't come out super pigmented. I do know that when you shake them, you can hear like that thing clicking around, but for, I think it's this one, nothing is clicking. So I don't know if that's my pack or if that's something other people have noticed, but otherwise, I love my markers. I love them so much. They're covered in paint. I love you, Posca pens. You are so fantastic to me. And then last but not least, I'm just gonna show you guys kind of what just a little extra stuff I have when I stick stuff into my sketchbook. Oops, I moved the camera. Or when I'm trying to seal stuff in. So I use this Elmer's glue stick, or just like, I feel like any glue stick will work to stick stuff into my sketchbook whenever I have like extra stuff that I want to stick in for fun. I also have this glue bottle, liquid glue. I don't really use this for my sketchbook though. I mostly use this for like other projects I have. But I also have that just in case I run out of the glue stick. And then I also have 2 Mod Podges. This one's matte and this one's gloss, to stick stuff inside if there's like, sometimes if I'm using a lot of glitter, I use this instead of a glaze pen, or if I'm sticking stuff in that I don't want to stick to other stuff. A lot of people in my last video suggested using hairspray or milk, or they had like a lot of alternatives, so I don't think Mod Podge is the best to use, but for my door, that's what I use. Probably don't listen to me, listen to other people who know what they're doing. But yeah, that was my art supplies tour. Sorry this has taken so long. I am really bad at like recording and sitting down and like just making stuff and then editing, even though I love doing it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This was pretty fun to do. I am going to try and edit this really fast. We will see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for all the support on my sketchbook video. That was fucking crazy. I didn't expect there to be so many people, but it was really endearing and really awesome. Let me know what you guys want to see from me next. If you have any questions, you want any specific videos, I don't know, comment whatever. I love responding to the comments. It's like my favorite thing to do. If you guys would like to commission me for art, I have my info on my Instagram. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night. Have a good day. Be safe. I don't know. I'm bad at outros. Bye!